Hello, I'm Liz Lumley of Finextra, and today I'm speaking to Will Cawthorne of Impendium, and we're going to talk about non-financial companies. So, Will, what are NFCs?
Really good question, because it's not the same under different regulations, and it may not immediately be obvious to the organisation or to a certain counterparty. So there's a general rule of thumb, and this is sort of dictated by the regulators, certainly in Europe, is that if you're under obligations for financial regulations currently, to use an example, ESMA are decreeing for EMEA that if you're currently reporting under 8 specific regulations, including things like MiFID, AIFMD, and a couple of others, then you are a financial organisation. If you're not under those obligations, then you're a non-financial. The complication then comes in is that under REMIT or under potentially things like MiFID II, certainly under things like CRD4, the definition of a non-financial slightly changes. And even within EMEA itself, as everybody knows, the definition of a non-financial falls into 2 sectors, a non-financial or a non-financial plus. And that depends on how much you're actually trading in terms of volumes, where you are against a certain threshold. So it's not as easy as it may seem. General rule of thumb, I say to people, is if you're kind of trading within certain asset classes, commodities, energy, for example, and you're not a bank, then the chances are you're probably a non-financial or some variant of a non-financial under the European regulations.
So what do NFCs need to know then?
About the non-financials, there are some things you do need to know, in that now if you are trading and you're trading with particularly financial counterparties and you're trading in things like commodities or energy, then you are under obligation under sort of future regulations. The most common would be EMEA and REMIT, both of which are coming in similar timeframes in 2014, so not long to go. And the obligations under those are actually very, very similar to the obligations that a financial counterparty would see. So actually, if you're not already looking at it, if you're not already looking at how you're going to solve those problems and meet those obligations, then now's really the time to start doing it.
So what if a non-financial company is in an unregulated industry? What will be the impact?
Absolutely. So the definition of a kind of regulated and unregulated industry, I think, is now starting to go. And I think the definition of whether you're a regulated industry is whether you're actually doing something, you're actioning something, in this case trading, something which in itself is regulated. So a lot of the non-financials that Impendium speak to have never really been previously subject to regulatory compliance, in this manner. Certainly nothing to do with kind of trading or sort of transaction volumes. So a lot of this is actually very, very new to them. And therefore they may see or may perceive that they're actually in a non-regulated industry, whereas actually all of a sudden that switch is going to be flicked and all of a sudden we'll find that they suddenly are.